Hello, Laverne here, and thank you for joining me. May this video be a blessing to you, and may it honor and glorify God and His kingdom. I suppose I could have titled this video, The Evils of Atheism, or The Evils of the Secular Humanist, but I'm not doing that. Instead, I chose the title I did so we can look at, examine if you will, the different slippery slopes that society has gone down. Look at where we were 50 years ago and where we are today. Have we truly advanced? And I'm not talking from a scientific or technological point of view, but rather from a moral point of view. Has the world actually advanced, or have we devolved? Have we gone backwards? I know most Christians will agree with me that we've actually gone backwards and that there's no doubt to it. Atheists, on the other hand, will no doubt argue that we have advanced, but not yet far enough. So that's what I would like to look at here. When did we actually start going down these different slippery slopes? And I will be examining a number of what I would term slippery slopes. I want to make it clear here, though, that in general I'm talking about a Hellenistic lifestyle, a Hellenistic philosophy that seems to permeate the beliefs of the atheist and the secular humanist. There seems to be this philosophy, viewpoint being put forward that anything and everything goes as long as another individual is not physically hurt. But there are some very serious problems with this, because there comes a point when one person's, their idea of not being hurt may in fact hurt another, such as in the case of abortion. So it's not always possible to live by this philosophy. But atheists seem to have a distinct set of values that they have no problem determining at what point someone's rights end and another one's begin, or one person's rights end because another person's rights supersede theirs. So there does become some problems with this philosophical worldview. Now, I'd like to establish that, in my opinion, I believe that the slippery slopes we began down started very soon after the reestablishment of the nation of Israel. It was after the nation of Israel was reestablished that we really see a quickening of the state of the world we are in today. And it's because the heavens have been very quickly advancing. We are coming very close to the time of the tribulation and the return of Christ. And we know that these things have to happen before He returns. Now, I know atheists and all kinds of non-believers, however you refer to yourself, are going to laugh at this and argue, well, the whole video is now null and void. There's no sense in going any further. But you can still make your argument from your belief system when looking at the topics I'm going to be looking at. Do you believe we have actually advanced and that we are better off today than what we were 50, 60 years ago? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. The first slippery slope I'd like to look at is the music industry. Back when Elvis and the Beatles first came on the scene and people liked them, there were Christians arguing that we need to have laws in place. We can't allow the radio stations to play this kind of music because of where it will take us. It will take us down a slippery slope that will have topics and subject matter and visual effects within the music that is going to have this negative effect on people, on society as a whole. This is what their argument basically was. Well, it was argued that because of free speech, we can't enforce those beliefs on others. We must allow people to be able to sing about the things that they want in the way that they would like to do. And we must allow people to listen to them if that is what they want. So this was the beginning of a slippery slope that was predicted by Christians who had that foresight. Well, today, just look at the music industry and where we are. Look at people such as Lady Gaga, and look at the songs that are being produced, and look at the videos that are being produced and the things that are being shown in them. We have the gay lifestyle. We have violence being worshipped, money being worshipped, sex, all of these things being worshipped in videos. In fact, there are some that are displaying satanic symbols all throughout them, blatantly doing so. And yet we must accept it. It's free speech. It's freedom. It's the Hellenistic lifestyle. And this is the slippery slope, or this is the place the slippery slope has brought us, and we are not yet at the bottom of that slope. Another example, I guess expanding on this, is the entertainment industry in general. Looking at television, same kind of thing. There were laws put in place 50, 60 years ago to prohibit many of the things that we find on TV today. And the reason is the same thing. Christians predicted. Christians had the foresight to say, if we change the laws to allow certain things, it's going to take us down a slippery slope. And it's going to take us to where there will be things shown on TV, talked about, discussed, that is going to be detrimental to society as a whole. And that's what we see. Today we know that our children are desensitized to things such as sex and violence. Just the average child, by the age of 12, the number of sex acts, the violence that they have seen by that point, well, it's no wonder then that they are so desensitized to it. And these are all things that were foretold 50, 60 years ago. So entertainment in general, another slippery slope. The gaming industry, same thing. Look at the violent videos that are out there today, the things that they are promoting. Another slippery slope. Marriage is another very good example. 50, 60 years ago, the only marriage recognized in most countries was a marriage between a man and a woman, and they had to actually be married. Then along came, at least within Canada, and I'm sure countries like Canada, this idea of common law marriage. In Canada, the law is that if you are together for a year, at least this is what it used to be, if you were together for a year, you were considered married. It was called common law marriage. And so the definition of marriage was changed. For tax purposes, court purposes, and so on, it became accepted as marriage, common law marriage. Well, since then, we have now stepped into the realm of gay marriage. So the family unit has been changed, and it started with, or at the top of the slippery slope, by changing marriage to include common law marriage. And again, we are not yet at the bottom of that slope. The family unit and marriage is still going to change, and not for the better. Abortion is another example of a slippery slope that we started from 50, 60 years ago. It began with allowing and legalizing abortion in certain circumstances. It was argued that, hey, look at the case of rape, look at the case of a fetus that you know is going to be deformed. So all kinds of reasons were given why some cases should be accepted and allowed. And then it changed. We started down that slippery slope to the point that any reason at all is acceptable for an abortion. And where at one point an abortion had to be performed prior to a certain point in the pregnancy, today in Canada there is no law governing abortion. If a mother can find a doctor to abort the baby the day before the delivery date, There's no problem with it. No law preventing it. It's simply a matter of finding a doctor who has the ability and the low ethic standard to do it. So we see the abortion laws starting at the top of this slope, this hill, and we've gotten now to the point where we are. But it's even getting worse. For recently, 2 professors from a recognized, like a world-renowned recognized university, have printed a paper in a medical journal suggesting that infantcide should be allowed, what they actually term as afterbirth abortion. So they want to extend abortion. They want to change the definition of life so that it would allow mothers to kill a healthy newborn baby. This is where this Hellenistic lifestyle has taken us. This is what happens when we do not believe in and live by a moral, law-giving creator. When we have no lawgiver and we make up our own laws, this is where it takes us. And it has taken us down these many different slippery slopes I've talked about to where we are today, to where the world is today. And it's a very, very scary place for those people who want to do right and live right. It's becoming more and more difficult to not be part of this world, to live in it and not yet be part of it, which is what Christians are called to do. All right, so I guess one question I would like to ask non-believers, atheists, the secular humanists, what do you think about this idea of abortion being extended to a mother to be able to abort or really perform infantcide on their child? Do you think it's something that should be allowed, or has abortion gone too far? The laws around abortion gone far enough? This is one question I really would like to see answered by non-believers. All right, as always, I look forward to comments and messages. Till next time, peace and blessings.